There are 5 types of AI anxiety, and you're living at least 2 of them right now. And one is costing you more than you realize. In the next 15 minutes, I will show you what each one actually is, where it comes from, and the single question that will help you break the loop. Because here is what most of the productivity influencers wouldn't tell you. All 5 kinds of anxiety are solving the wrong problem. They're just like the gym memberships that you signed up at the beginning of a new year. You went a few times and then you completely forgot about it until you realized, hey, there is something still on my debit card and I need to cancel it. And then until you see that, you will keep signing up for AI courses, AI certification, and the tools that were never designed to fix what's actually broken, what's actually making you anxious in the first place. So let's start with something that you probably did last week. Hey, I'm Jean. I studied the gap between what's being sold about AI and what's actually happening. And yes, reality is usually what press releases forget to mention. Now, let's start with the obvious explanation for AI anxiety. It goes like this. AI is powerful, AI is disruptive. AI might take your job, therefore people are anxious. Simple, logical. And it's the story that you'll hear from every think pieces and the LinkedIn thought leaders. There's just one problem. The data is showing something else, and it actually goes much deeper than that. The Ipsos AI Monitor surveyed more than 20,000 people across the globe. 2 questions they ask. Does AI make you nervous? And does AI make you excited? If you are in the US, UK, Canada, basically anywhere near the Anglosphere, you're sitting in the global epicenter of AI anxiety. More nervous than excited. But if you live somewhere near Southeast Asia, like Indonesia, Thailand, nearly 80% of you are feeling more excited about AI than being nervous about it. But why is that? Same technology, same capabilities. Why there are 2 completely opposite emotional responses? And here's what makes it even stranger. This is an online survey. As you all know, for any online survey, you have selection biases. So everyone participating in it has the same internet access, enough AI awareness to answer the questions about it, and roughly the same exposure to the same global headlines. If the anxiety comes from understanding what AI can do, responses should look similar across geography because the information is the same, the tools are the same. But they don't. The responses diverge sharply by region. So if it's not about what people know, it has to be about what AI means to them, what it represents in their specific context. And here's the pattern. The countries with the highest anxiety are also the countries where economic mobility has been declining for decades, where wage growth stalls, where job security erodes, where the security net has holes. In those places, AI doesn't always read as exciting new tool. No, it reads as one more threat to an already precarious position. You're not more anxious because you understand AI better. You're more anxious because the ladder was already shaking, and AI just made the shaking harder to ignore. Now, here's where it gets stranger. You think that people who adopt AI tools would feel less anxious. They're doing something. They're staying current. They're in control. But if you scroll through Reddit, and you will find the complete opposite. Here's one thread. AI tsunami. How do you guys keep up? And another. I'm annoyed at juggling too many AI tools. And a third here. Every week, there is a new essential tool that promises to save time. People adopting the most are very often also the most stressed. The actions you take aren't really there to reduce the fear, it's feeding it instead. And that's AI anxiety number 1. Narrative whiplash. The signals are constant and contradictory. AI will save us. AI will destroy jobs. AI is revolutionary. AI is a bubble. Or if you're not using it every day, you're falling behind. Academics call this epistemic flooding. So much contradictory information that you lose the ability to assess any of those. You're not frozen because you're uninformed. You're frozen because you're over-informed with no filter. And here's the true emotion that's hidden underneath, is as long as you stay in this gathering mode, you never have to stake a claim. You never have to be wrong. The real question is never, who should I trust? It's, what would I actually bet on? And what's on the line if I have to start deciding? Which brings us to AI anxiety number 2, false safety signals. This one shows up in multiple ways. Some people frantically adopt every AI tool they could find. Some others are more exhausted and resentful, wondering why they have to learn yet another tool. Yes, these two behaviors look like the complete opposite, but they are not. The frantic adopters tell themselves, if I stay in motion, I won't disappear. The exhausted resistors tell themselves, I can't keep up and I'm furious about it. Different coping strategies, same fear underneath, neither of them is actually about AI. You're not anxious because AI is scary. You're anxious because you've been measuring your worth by your output for years. And AI just made the measuring tape impossible to ignore. There's a name for this, workism. The belief that your job is the primary source of meaning in your life, that you are what you produce. Long before AI, this was already a trap. AI just made the trap visible. So when you ask, am I falling behind on AI? That's not actually the question you meant to ask. Your real question is, if my worth is what I produce, and a machine can produce what I produce, what's left of me? And that's the question underneath this false safety signals anxiety. And your employers or other people aren't going to answer this question for you, especially if they just handed you a new tool, 8 hours of mandatory trainings, and a Friday deadline. Here's where it gets even more uncomfortable. Let me show you how this identity trap plays out in practice. Anxiety number 3, the certification treadmill. You take a course, you get yourself certified. For about a week, you feel like you have done something real. Then you open LinkedIn. Someone has 3 certifications. Another has a Stanford one and a Google one. The certainty you just purchased deflates. One developer on Reddit described it like this. I started trying to learn AI for career growth, and it's honestly insane how much conflicting information exists. And another asked, are AI certificates from a top university even worth doing? Notice what's happening here. People are consuming educations, collecting credentials just like how you collect Pokemons. However, people also get more uncertainty, not less, because this certificate isn't buying competence. It's buying permission. A permission to call yourself an AI person. Permissions to believe that you deserve to be employed. But no credential resolved insecurity. The institution that issued it can't give you the belief that you deserve to be valued. So you get the cert, you don't get promoted. Maybe it was the wrong course? You take another one. The emptiness just keep repeating itself. But the people who actually progress do not feel this kind of anxiety, do one thing differently. They use their skill to solve a problem that matters to them. Not for grade, not for display, not for permission, for the satisfaction of knowing they solved it. That's competence, and that is real. So the real question isn't, should I get certified? Try this instead. What problem am I uniquely positioned to solve? And it feels good solving it, certificate or not. And if you can't answer that, there's no amount of certificates will fix this anxiety. AI anxiety number 4, the wrong scoreboard. Your colleague finishes work much faster than you, and your manager notices it. Now, the expectation is speeding everywhere. Deadlines that used to be reasonable are suddenly really tight. So you started to use the tools too, just racing to match others' pace. Here's one senior engineer post on Reddit saying that increased pressure on engineers to deliver the gains that leadership expects from AI. And here's what you're missing. You're competing horizontally while the entire layer compresses beneath you. Winning the speed race doesn't help if the track itself is sinking. Your peers are being used, you are being used as the proof of companies can do more with less. Every time you match a faster pace, you validate the compression. I'm not saying don't work hard or don't try at all, but it's how you reframe your own anxiety. Your leverage is elsewhere, what AI cannot amplify. Like judgment about when to slow down, the ability to say, we need more time here, and the ability to convince your boss, of course. The expertise that comes from understanding the trade-offs, not just executing faster. The question is never about whether you're keeping up. It's, can you articulate what you offer that can't be outsourced to a faster execution? AI anxiety number 5. The imposter syndrome when using AI. Be honest now. In the last month, you've shipped something that was entirely done by AI, and you didn't have the time to check. So you just released it because the deadline was just so close. And now you think about it, you couldn't even fully explain every decision behind it. So you tell yourself you will try to use it more responsibly next time, really understanding the output before you accept it. Only when the next time comes, the deadline pressure kicks in and you're back to approving, not thinking. Here's one writer asked online, is it still your original content if you accept AI's changes? And a developer also posted on Reddit saying, AI is lifting my imposter syndrome to the sky. There is a boundary dissolving somewhere between what you did and what AI did, and you're not sure where you end and where the AI begins. 20 years back, Google changed fundamentally how we store and retrieve information. AI is the next level. It doesn't just answer questions, it synthesizes judgment. The trap isn't using AI. The trap here is using it in a way that outsources your thinking and not being able to defend what you've released. 2 different layers of questions to ask yourself. First, can you explain every major decision in this work? Not the punctuation I'm talking about, but the choices you made. Can you trace them back to your initial reasoning? And second, and this one is harder, can you see yourself in what you share with the world? Now, the second counterpoint, because I might owe you a more detailed explanation. You might say, some people genuinely are falling behind, rules are being compressed, and the anxiety isn't irrational. True. And I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But here's what the anxiety obscures. The people who navigate this well are not those who learn the most tools the fastest or knowing every AI models as soon as they launched. They are the ones who can capture what they offer that execution speed doesn't capture. The judgments, the context, the ability to know when AI is wrong, and the credibility and the social skill to push back. Frantic motion doesn't build that, only clarity does. All 5 AI anxieties are exactly the same as the gym membership you signed up for in January. You signed up for the AI courses, the search, the tools, not to resolve the problem, but to solve the feeling of the problem. And when the feeling comes back, you sign up again. The narrative whiplash, the false safety signals, the credential treadmills, the wrong competition frames, and the imposter syndromes. Every one of those AI anxieties is only the surface signal to a question that you aren't asking. The question is, who am I if I'm not my work, if I'm not my output? Your company won't answer that for you, of course. Neither will another certification. But you can stop renewing the AI anxieties in 2026 and start asking the question that actually matters. If this landed, subscribe. And the full write-up, all the data, the Reddit threads, and the reframing of the questions for each anxiety is in the link below. That's where it goes deeper than I could here. Now, thanks for watching.